we move forward with another day, and as long as I remember, and it doesn't for whatever reason slip my mind, I have every intention of putting together a preview for tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite to make up for the fact that I did not put together a preview of Rampage last week. And I know that may not make sense to some, but the fact of the matter is, I'm not just going to make it up by doing a preview of Rampage this week. I'm going to also make it up by doing a preview of Dynamite as well. And I will have to ask that maybe if you want more previews than just AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage, let me know down in the comment section below, and I will make do with maybe doing a preview here and sporadic previews of WWE programming as well. And not just pay-per-views. Speaking of WWE programming, NXT was last night. We will get to NXT in a second, but I have to share the news with you that earlier today it was reported by his Twitter page that the Iron Sheik, WWE Hall of Famer and former WWE World Champion, the Iron Sheik passed away. Sheiky was 81 years old, and I mean, even though you could say he lived a long life, this, that, and the other thing, it's never good to hear when legends like Sheik pass away, especially Sheik, because, I mean, our Twitter timelines are going to be a little bit more empty without the Iron Sheik now. And as far as I'm concerned, the easiest way to say send my condolences to the family, friends, and fans of the Iron Sheik is to do what Iron Sheik would do, and what Iron Sheik would do is Iran #1 USA Hakdu. Hulk Hogan, I'd break your back and make you humble. The fact of the matter is, with the advent, since the advent of Twitter, in my opinion, there has been nobody better than the Iron Sheik on the platform. Sheiky had a way with words and did not mince words at all. Oh, he always knew what he wanted to say and how to say it. And the fact of the matter is, he was one of a kind. He was 100% one of a kind, and there will never be another Iron Sheik. Again, condolences to his family, friends, and fans. Rest in peace, Baba. We move on from there and we shift over to some AEW news, as Fight Fans and Fightful both have reported that, according to current plans, CM Punk is set to not only return at AEW Collision on Saturday, June 17th, but also CM Punk is set to return to the ring, and he is set to compete at AEW Collision on June the 17th. So, fact of the matter is, I think that it will be an insane night of professional wrestling on June the 17th when AEW Collision debuts. And we will, of course, be putting together a preview of matches and maybe do some expectations for Collision on June the 17th when that day comes, or when that day gets a little closer. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to express an opinion, I think that you start Punk with a simple match. Any match, in my opinion, with Punk is going to be a marquee match. But you start Punk with a simple match, and then you build to maybe his first feud on that night, which, I mean, June 17th is in close proximity June 17th is in close proximity to All In. So the fact of the matter is, I think Punk could be at All In. If not at Forbidden Door. I mean, I think Forbidden Door might be too close. Forbidden Door might be too close. But he's definitely going to be at All In, so maybe building up something for All In. Like with Samoa Joe. It is also possible that Jay White could be his opponent for All In. The fact of the matter is, Jay White is somebody. The multi-man match is something that we could see. A multi-man match is something that we could see at All In. Just because of the fact that they want to get multiple people, as many people as they possibly can on the card. And that makes complete and total sense. But I think there's better use of CM Punk if you don't have it be if you don't have it be a multi-man match and you have it be a singles match. Maybe you have the multi-man match on TV and you have Punk versus Jay White at the pay-per-view. I'm not saying you need a finish, Punk versus Jay White at the pay-per-view, but I'm saying that if you wanted to have Punk versus Jay White, maybe have it on pay-per-view and do the multi-man match at, because you could still have FTR and Bullet Club Gold a part of the match, but the hell, you could do a lumberjack match. Jay White versus CM Punk in a lumberjack match with FTR and Bullet Club Gold at ringside. I mean, yes, that's just asking for, frankly, that's just asking for, frankly, a non-finish. But again, you don't need a finish in the first match between Jay White and CM Punk, because I know a lot of people have been hoping and praying that Jay does something more in AEW, even though he just showed up and he's not known for a mainstream audience. So he needs to get himself known and get himself in a position where, I don't want to repeat myself, but where more people know him before he's put in a position where he could be World Heavyweight Champion in AEW. So there's that. But I'm just looking up and down, seeing what news I did report or did speak about. And the other news is, unfortunately, it was reported earlier today, and it's not unexpected, but it was reported earlier today that Braun Strowman, who just had neck fusion surgery, is pegged to miss Braun Strowman, who is set to miss an undisclosed amount of time with recovering from neck fusion surgery, which was expected, but it is just unfortunate that, much like Bobby Roode, who I believe had neck fusion surgery, and Kyle O'Reilly, who had neck fusion surgery, Kyle's been out since last year. Bobby Roode's missed about a year, I feel like. It's just something that's expected at this point. Because neck fusion surgery takes a while to recover from. That's just all it is. So I wish nothing but the best to Braun Strowman and the time that he's taking to recover. And, what else is there? What else is there but to wish him well? And, the fact of the matter is, we also end on some interesting news. As Amanda Nunes, the former multi-time champion in the UFC, or double champion, I should say, in UFC, and just super talent in UFC, was asked by the New York Times in a recent interview if she would consider joining professional wrestling or making the jump to professional wrestling. We have seen a number of stars make the jump to professional wrestling over the years, including former former UFC fighters like Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, um, uh, and the members of American Top Team with Dan Lambert. It's not something unexpected, and Amanda Nunes did not discount the possibility of joining professional wrestling if the money was right. But when her UFC career was over, not beforehand. Which I love the fact that it gives UFC fighters the opportunity to find, or MMA fighters more specifically, the opportunity to find a second career after their MMA career is done in professional wrestling, because there has not been one that has not, I don't want to say taken it seriously, but learned to respect professional wrestling after being in the sport for a bit. And Amanda Nunes would be a welcome addition to any professional wrestling company because her drawing power alone would be something that would make mass market appeal. Imagine generations collide as Ronda Rousey and Amanda Nunes collide in a professional wrestling ring. Or if Amanda Nunes and Ronda Rousey were to collide in a wrestling ring. That is definitely something I would love to see, and it just sells itself. But with that being said, we got more news to get to in the next video, and I will see you in the next one.